thank you. I want to say 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 thank you.
Thank you. And thank you, Ron, for singing that. Really nice. Thank you.
Gratitude changes everything. Really? Yes. Gratitude changes everything. We can focus on the problem. We can be in the pain. We can feel the resentment, the anger, the shame, the doubt, the lack, as long as we want. It's our right. But as soon as we're ready to not be in that sandbox, all we need to do is turn on the light of gratitude, opening to potential, opening ourselves to God. Because there's no place where God is not. But it's hard to see God if all we're doing is focusing on the problem. Now, this is not something that is new. And we have a star in the Lone Star State of Willie Nelson. He also lived in Maui, so I got to meet him several times on Maui. He says, when I started counting my blessings, my whole life turned around. This is such a great thing to know. We know this in unity. When we focus on the blessings in our life, what do we have? We got a huge plate of blessing. And if we're going to go to the buffet of life, do we want to go get some more blessing? Or do we want to go to the buffet of pain and distress and turmoil and conflict? We get to choose. Often we feel like life just plain happens. That happened to me. You did this to me. Sure, life happens. But how we're going to respond to it is the question. The great compassionate Buddha leads us to an important aspect of counting that blessing. Let us rise up and be thankful. For if we didn't learn a lot today, at least we learned a little. And if we didn't learn a little, at least we didn't get sick. And if we got sick, at least we didn't die. So let us all be thankful. There's always something to be grateful for. There's always some place for a turn away from our pity pot, from our pain. Now, pain is real. Pain hurts. And sometimes we like to get to, I've got pain. Oh, you got pain? Oh, my pain's worse than your pain. Oh, pain. But this is better. We may have a little pain, but we're alive. We may be in distress, but I can be thankful for this beautiful day. There's always a place we can come to experience gratitude. Now, I might ask you to practice something. What if you got up every morning and you thought about or wrote down 5 things you're grateful for? Just start your day with a little gratitude. What if you ended the day by thinking or writing down 5 things you're grateful for? Now, it may have been a really rough day. It might be the first thing on the list is, thank God I can go to sleep now. Thank God I'm comfortable in my own room. Thank God I have a home. Thank God I have a family. Thank God I have a community. There's if we have nothing else to be grateful for, we can be grateful for the air we're breathing. Now, we interviewed some of our congregants on Thanksgiving, and let's hear what John has to say about being grateful.
You know, one of the biggest blessings for me was finding unity. It was something like I never had experienced before. The belief that, you know, God is a loving God, not a judging, punishing God. It was such a wonderful message that, you know, I became a unity junkie and was here every night that the church was open. It was closed on Friday and Saturdays. That was the only time I wasn't here. And it was just amazing. And so, you know, the blessing of this community is probably one of the biggest things that I'm grateful for in my life.
John points to what a blessing it is to find that we're not alone, that there's others who can carry us through those challenging times, through when we can't just find the energy to get up out of ourselves. We've got people to do it with. And always present is the loving Spirit of God's grace, giving us exactly what we need in each moment. So John's words are real profound. We're one with a loving God that's ever present and all-powerful. And we're not alone. We're in a community. There's offerings. And if all we do is come on Sunday, we've reaped the benefit of the blessing of others. Now, the great philosopher and religious leader in our time is Albert Einstein. Often not looked at that, often just being a scientist, but a very wise man. And he says, there are only two ways to live your life. One is as though nothing is a miracle, and the other as though everything is a miracle. That's back to this same place. Am I going to spend my life energy dwelling on my pain, my faults, my warts, my disappointments? But my parents did this to me. Okay. Or are we going to look that everything that happened in our life happened for a reason, and that, wow, that thing that happened to me 10 years ago has allowed me to know that I'm stronger than I ever knew before, that I have more courage, that I'm more willing to take a deep breath and live in this now moment because I've let go of the baggage. So, are you living your life as though nothing is a miracle? Or are you embracing a life where everything that happens to us, for us, and by us is a miracle? Now, my partner Owen, when we were in California and his parents' car needed gas, so we pulled into an ARCO station. This was August 26, 1998. He got out, went into the mini mart to pay for gas, and a sport utility vehicle went through the brick wall and ran over Owen inside the mini mart. A shattered pelvis, a shattered left leg, 3 weeks in intensive care, 3 months in the hospital, and 8 years of surgery, of PT, of meditation, and prayer. Now, I have to say quite honestly that when he came out of those 3 weeks in intensive care where he didn't remember anything, he literally spent one day feeling like a victim. Why me? And from then on, he opened his heart to, I'm alive. There's an amazing medical team that's supporting my healing, my recovery, and family and friends who outpoured their love and support to us to do what was next. And I have to say that on that day, that morning, when I discovered Owen in the mini-mart, racked in pain, all crumpled up, the first thought that came to my mind was seeing Owen vital, healthy, whole, and alive as he is today. And I continue to hold that knowing that that's where we're headed. And then every day was chop wood and carry water. Chop wood and carry water. And there I was Owen's Florence Nightingale. And I was also Florence Nightmare, depending on how grounded I was. Are you going to live that nothing is a miracle? Or are you going to live that everything is a miracle, no matter what? Let's turn to the wise words of, I got to get used to the stage, of Heather here.
For me, everything that we experience, we can look at it 2 different ways, and it's our choice on what we see in it. And so for me, whenever I'm looking at something and trying to appreciate what its gift is to me, or what I'm going to learn from it, or whatever it is, it changes the whole perspective of it, and it feels good. Even the things that I'm like, okay, I might not have preferred to go through this, but I can find the things that I'm grateful for, the lesson or the experience or the growth it allowed me, the preparation it gave me for the next thing that I come across. So it's very important to find that in any experience. I'm very thankful for everything that the universe has provided to me. And I feel like, in this time of my life, I had a very unusual upbringing. And so I needed people just for survival. I just needed them to be there just so that I didn't feel alone. And so I get to feel like I get to give back now, which is the thing that I appreciate. And so some people think it's odd, the things that I do for individuals that I might not be that close to. I'm like, but people did that for me. And so this is my way of just allowing the universe to keep giving those gifts that are unexpected.
Yes, because when we're in community and we need recovery, we need healing, we carry each other. We support each other through that journey. And then when we're strong and healthy, Owen now walks 3 miles a day very fast. Just try to keep up with him. We can do for others what others have done for us, so that it's a web of give and take and support and nurturing. And through the entire web of healing and wholeness, we connect with God. Whatever name you give it, the divine nature, the shimmering one, substance, divine mind, goddess, it doesn't, Buddha, Allah, it doesn't matter what name you give it, God's bigger than any name we're going to give it. It's always present. Now, Albert Schweitzer was a humanitarian, a writer, musician. He got a Nobel Peace Prize. And he says, at times our own light goes out and is rekindled by a spark from another person. Each of us has cause to think with deep gratitude for those who have lighted the flame within us. It's easy to be grateful when we've been given help. But how often are we giving that gratitude to our own self for being willing to get up out of bed? for being willing to show up as a friend or as a parent or as a teacher. We're doing this together in concert with God, in oneness, taking another step. Another step, one day at a time. Rabbi Harold Kirshner wrote a wonderful book, Why Bad Things Happen to Good People. He's a great theologian. He says, if you concentrate on finding whatever is good in every situation, you will discover that your life will suddenly be filled with gratitude, a feeling that nurtures the soul. Right now, take a moment and think about some problem. It might be a problem you're having right now in your life, or it could be a problem that's already healed, recovered from. But just think about that problem. Got it? Now infuse a feeling of gratitude. Introduce a knowing of blessing. Is it possible to focus on the problem when you're feeling gratitude or blessing? See, gratitude changes everything. We know that everything is changing all the time anyway. So, along with all that change, gratitude can be a foundation point for realizing the truth. I'm here. I'm alive. I'm healing. I'm recovering. And I'm not alone. Patch Adams is a doctor who discovered that laughter is a very important key for healing. And he's made a whole institute of providing care and healing that includes humor and laughter. And he says, at the age of 18, I made my mind to never have another bad day in my life. I dove into endless sea of gratitude from which I've never emerged. Do you believe it's possible to never, ever have another bad day in your life again? If you're willing for that to be a possibility, it might be that gratitude could be a key for turning anything we used to call a bad day into a wonderful opportunity to find hope, strength, to find God in the midst of the darkness. For in truth, when we go into a totally dark room, you could light a single birthday candle and the room isn't dark anymore. It doesn't take much light for darkness to begin to fade away. So let's hear the words of Sandra as she speaks to this.
Well, gratitude reminds me of my divinity and the divinity that surrounds me and spirit in every wonderful way. I definitely hold gratitude in my heart, and it feels vibrant and alive. When I think gratitude, it feels vibrant and alive right here in my heart. It radiates, it vibrates. So it feels very good. I'm grateful for my health, and I'm grateful for my life. I'm grateful for the life that I have that has brought me to this place today, this moment.
And I'm grateful for that wisdom of knowing that right now is the very first day for the rest of my life. Today is the very first day for the rest of your life. And you get to navigate through the life focused on the problem or realizing that every part of our life is filled with something to be grateful for, something to feel whole for, something to vibrate in our being because it's always present. We turn to the wise words of Oprah Winfrey. Be thankful for what you have. You'll end up having more. And if you concentrate on what you don't have, you will never, ever have enough. We only get the problem if that's all we focus on. If we focus on the opportunity and the blessings, it unfolds more and more of that. We can't know what God's going to birth forth in our life when we open to God. Because our small mind will paint a much smaller picture than what God will reveal for us. So let's start it with gratitude and from a knowing that we're one with the same energy in the universe that creates galaxies. The same energy that creates pomegranates. The same energy that creates life. The same energy that creates us with each breath for this, our first day for the rest of our life. And that's something to be grateful for. The Unity ministers, Richard and Mary Alice Jaffola, wrote wonderful books on prayer, and they say this truth. After placing our unshakable faith in the fact that God will answer our needs, we should then give thanks. Our gratitude shows our faith and trust in God. So our very activity of counting our blessings, of acknowledging the miracle of our lives, of knowing the truth that our good is always present for us, is our faith in God. Is our knowing that God's ever-present wisdom and knowledge and power is present for us. And that's good. Gratitude changes everything because we've turned to the gratitude that's our connection with God. The affirmation I have today is, with an attitude of gratitude, I attract greater good into my life. Together? With an attitude of gratitude, I attract greater good into my life. And from this, we'll go into a time of meditation. And always good to start our meditation is to breathe deeply and easily as the train, oh, what a blessing. We let the train carry our thoughts down the rails as we come into this identification of gratitude. Of wholeness. Of oneness. in my understanding of connectedness with everyone and everything. I breathe gratitude into my heart, into the center of my being. And as I breathe into my understanding of blessing, of grace, of gratitude, the petals of my stress and fear and lack wash away. Just like the leaves are finding their way to the ground, I come to my heart to be grounded in divine wisdom. In divine grace. Into a miracle of life. So allow thoughts of I'm grateful for to well up in your heart as an act of faith and connection with God. As we take this time now in the silence. Yes. Thank you. Coming into this acknowledgement of blessing, we begin to bring our energy and our presence back into the room. We might wiggle our fingers, our toes, roll our head, and when we're ready, we open our eyes. And we bring that knowing and connection to gratitude with us throughout the day. And knowing we are blessed. And so it is. And so we let it be.
Thank you for this day, Spirit. Thank you for this day. Thank you for this day, Spirit. Thank you for this day. This healing, this healing, this healing day. This healing, this healing, this healing.